Hey guys, what is up? Prepare to amaze yourself with this awesome interlaced shells galore Tunisian crochet stitch. This tutorial calls for a chain of 13, multiples of 3 plus 1. To start, we're going to have a Tunisian simple stitch foundation row with a normal closing. As you can see, it's nice and 3D on the front, super textural, equally luscious and textured on the backside as well. All right, I chose a size 4 yarn for this project and a Tunisian crochet hook of size 7, 7 millimeter. I'll meet you guys back here with a chain of 13. Chain of 13, you're just going to pick up a loop in each chain. We're going to do this all the way down to the very end. And we're going to do a normal closing. So yarn over, pull up through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, all the way down. And my dog's wanting to get in. My daughter's going to do the dishes and my dog's wanting to get in. I don't know how this video is going to go.
Shush.
All right, so we have our foundation row. Now we're ready to start row 1. To start row 1, chain 1. In between your first and second vertical bars, you have a set of horizontal loops. Using the back horizontal loop, we're going to make 2 double crochets. We're going to make 1 more in that same loop. Okay, now we're going to skip the next 2 bars. So we're going to skip 1, skip 2, and then in this bar here, using the vertical bar and horizontal loops, we're going to make a Tunisian simple stitch. Part 1 of row 1. Now we're going to do part 2 of row 1. So we're going to skip 1, skip 2, and then in our next vertical bar and horizontal loops, we're going to make 5 double crochet. You have now your 5 double crochet and your indicated stitch there. Now we're going to skip 2. So you're going to skip the bar right next to it. 1, 2, and we're going to do a Tunisian simple stitch right here. So using your vertical bar and your horizontal loops, make 1 Tunisian simple stitch. Whoops. And then you're going to skip the last 2 bars and do 3 double crochet in your last stitch space. My dog. And this is row 1. So we're going to close out row 1 with a normal closing. And of course, before you close out, you always want to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches that you started with. I mean, the same amount of loops that you started out with. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. All right, so you're just going to close this row out with a normal closing. And I'll meet you guys back at the very beginning of the row. All right, so we're ready to start row 2. Yarn over, do 5 front post double crochets around your Tunisian simple stitch from the previous row. I'll meet you back at 5. All right, so for row 2, you now have your 5 front post double crochets that we made around the Tunisian simple stitch from the previous row. Now what you're going to do is you're going to skip 1, 2, and in the middle double crochet of your 5 from the previous row, in this middle double crochet here, you're going to make 1 Tunisian simple stitch. So remember, you can either count backwards, so 1, 2, in the middle one, using your vertical bar and horizontal loop. Then you're going to skip the next 2 double crochets. So skip 1, 2, and you're going to do 5 front post double crochets around this Tunisian simple stitch from the previous row. Okay, so we've finished our second shell and now we have 3 stitches left. You've got 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, and then your third bar, it kind of looks like an 8 stitch over here. So you're going to crochet in between those loops right there, just 1 double crochet. And you're going to do a normal closing. So I'll meet you back over here to start row 3. To start row 3, chain 1. We're going to do 2 double crochet in the back horizontal loop. Now you're going to skip 1, 2, and do a Tunisian simple stitch in your middle double crochet from the previous row. So your shells are always going to be groups of 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochets. Now from here you're going to do 5 front post double crochets around your Tunisian simple stitch bars from the previous row. And I'll see you back here at 4 more. All right, so we have our middle shell, and then we have our shell from the previous row. So you're going to skip the first and second double crochet, and you're going to do a Tunisian simple stitch in the middle double crochet of your shell from the previous row. Okay, so skip 1, skip 2, and using your vertical bar and horizontal loops of your middle stitch from below, make 1 Tunisian simple stitch. Now you're going to skip the last 2 double crochets in that shell, and you're going to come over to your stitch space on the end here and do 3 double crochets. I'll meet you back at 3 double crochets. Okay, so we have our partial shells on the end, and then we have our middle shell. We have our 2 Tunisian simple stitches. And then you're just going to follow through with the normal closing. So I'll see you back here after you've done your normal closing. In order to make this pattern, you're just going to do simply repeat row 2 and 3. Of course, you know, it's really fun to experiment with different yarns and different colors, but I can definitely tell you that you are going to enjoy having this rich, decadent, 3D. I just love it. I just loved the raised effect, and I really think that you're going to love it too. So I really want to thank you guys for tuning in with me today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. And thanks for sharing part of your day with me, the Crochet Lady. I'll see you guys in the near future.